everyone, it's Alyssa here at the Township of Washington Public Library, and I am coming to you with our craft for adults for August. So we are making plaster scent sachets, which are great for closets, drawers. I have scent sachets, and I have one of those like mirror cabinets in my room that kind of smells a little weird out of the package, and I actually was inspired by the fact that I put bath bombs in there to just make it smell fresh and get rid of some of the funk, especially in the humid months, right? So I was inspired by, that's where I store my bath bombs when they're not in use, in my closets and drawers. And we have a ton of plaster of Paris from some other crafts, and I said, how can I make something similar, but that actually is for use for scenting your closets and drawers? And found some great recipes and links for making plaster scent sachets. So this is really very, very easy. And so here is what we need. We need our plaster of Paris. So I've given anybody who has registered for this craft some plaster of Paris. We need something to mix it with. Again, if you've registered, I've given you a little wooden stirrer. I would suggest using an old or disposable spoon. The plaster of Paris is not something that we want to wash because it will clog up and cure in your pipes. So let's not use anything that we're going to wash. So I'm also using for myself a disposable cup to mix my mixture. You can also use a paper or plastic bowl, something again that you're gonna toss, or that you can pop the leftover stuff right out of, and then you can just kind of wipe it again instead of washing it. We have some water. We have our silicone mold, so it's easy to pop the plaster out of. And we have plenty of these lying around, so I feel good about doing a plaster of Paris craft. A mask. These are very small particles, and you don't want to accidentally breathe it in when you're pouring it into your cup or bowl. So a mask. You can also use gloves and protective eyewear. You don't really have to. It's the mask that's a little bit more important that I like to use when working with plaster of Paris. And I wear glasses, so it's okay. Do keep in mind that sometimes, because it is a reaction between the plaster of Paris and water, that your vessel will get warm. Sometimes it happens still in the cup, and sometimes it happens in the mold. So if you have young children, or if you yourself are kind of curious, just leave it while it's curing and work fast. I have also given everybody some essential oils or fragrance oils, depends. There are a couple different scents around, but I just have this little vial here. There are two ways to scent our sachets. One of those ways is by pouring it directly into our mixture, and another way, because your scent will eventually fade, or you could do this straight from the get-go, is once it has dried and cured and it is nice and solid, you can put some drops right onto your plaster. Both ways, your scent will last 1 to 2 weeks depending on your scent. Some scents do fade a little quicker, but that way you can keep recharging it. This is very similar to a little while ago we had made, maybe a year ago, we had made air dry clay keychains that are also oil diffusers. It's the same principle. As your scent fades, take a little drop of your favorite essential oil or perfume oil, whatever it is, and re-scent your clay. This is the same thing. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this. It is so easy and pretty quick. Most of the time taken is actually waiting for this to cure for 24 hours. So we're going to go ahead and get right to our craft. I'll show you how easy it is to mix it all up. Ready? Here we go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put my mask on because I'm going to get ready to scoop my plaster of Paris. So. Okay, so the great ratio, the perfect ratio for plaster of Paris is a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 parts of plaster to 1 part of liquid. So I've got a little quarter cup here. So I'm going to do half a cup of the plaster mixture, and then I'll do a quarter cup of the water. The next most important thing is to stir very, very well. If you don't stir vigorously and incorporate everything well, Your water and your plaster just won't mix. There won't be the correct reaction and it won't cure. And sometimes when that happens, you'll see water sitting on the top of this semi-solid lump. We really want to stir vigorously and get the lumps out and make sure that it's all incorporated before pouring into our mold. So I'm going to go ahead and get my plaster. And my water. And I'm going to start my stirring nice and vigorous. Get these lumps out, make sure it is well incorporated. I don't know if you can see, but there's definitely some dust coming up, so that's why I'm glad I am wearing my mask. You want to make sure that you don't have any powder kind of in these corners here, you know, like sinking down to the bottom. And so this is sort of the texture of a batter, almost like melted ice, somewhere in between pancake and melted ice cream here. And this is a really good consistency, but also when I'm scraping down here, I don't know if you can see, I still see some dry portions, so I'm just making sure that I'm really getting all of the dry stuff hydrated. All right, I have my scent here. The one that I have is called Rise and Shine. Some of you who registered for kits are gonna get it. It's just a really fresh, beautiful scent. There's a little floral, a little citrus, really clean and fresh. One of my favorites. And I'm just gonna pour my whole vial right in here. So it's about 10 to 15 drops worth if you're using your own oil. Again, this also depends on how strong your particular oil is. So I just want to make sure that this is well incorporated. Oil's kind of like sitting on top here, so I'm just going to keep mixing, and I might add just another little, maybe like teaspoon of plaster. And again, make sure that this is really well incorporated. This does start to set and harden in some areas pretty quickly. So we're working kind of fast. Again, this is a quick craft, which is one of the reasons why I love it. It's a quick craft and it'll last us a long time. All right, so all of my powder is gone, so I can take my mask off. And then I'm gonna pour it into my mold. I'm gonna do one little layer on each. I'm not filling it up entirely. What I'm gonna do here is spread it nice and thin. And to make sure there are no air bubbles, I'm gonna tap, really, really tap. To get the, oh, can you see them? There are some bubbles that are popping out. If you don't really care about the appearance of your scent sachet, that's fine, you don't need to do this. But I'm gonna try to pop as many of these bubbles out as I can. And then if you have some more stuff, some more batter, you can scoop that on in too, fill up it a little bit more. I like to do thinner ones. They don't necessarily need to be super large and thick. There's no purpose to it, so that's why I liked having two, so that I could do two separate drawers or closets or whatnot. Kind of scoop it in. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll tamp it down, get rid of any bubbles, but also make this nice and even. Okay, so here we go. Tap, tap, tap again. Tap, 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 tap. Get out some of the air bubbles. And then that's it. It will start to dry and you're gonna feel like it's hardened in a couple of hours. Let it sit for a full 24 hours because then you know it's really cured, it's solid all the way through and your chemical reaction has occurred. And then you can take it out and I'll show you how we finish this up. That's it, this is so easy. This is a great project and it also smells amazing in here already. All right, I will be back once these have cured fully and we'll finish up. Okay, so I have let these sit and dry, and they pop out really easily. I pre-loosened that, it wasn't that easy. They pop out really easily, and they smell so good. See, I'll show you. You just kind of very gently pop it up, and it comes right out. All right. Any excess that you have, remember, don't wash this down the sink. Even though this stuff has hardened, you know, there's no need for this to go down in the waterway. Just brush it all out, especially on this silicone form. It comes out really easily, and dump it in the garbage. So this smells really, really good. Once the scent starts to fade, just grab your favorite perfume or essential oil, and you just add some drops. There's no oil in here, but you just would, oh, there is a little oil in there. There we go. You just add some drops and let it soak in. See, it starts to absorb, and that refreshes your scent. That also means that you can change up the scent however you would like. Something that I like to do, because this is oil, and sometimes these are a little dusty, is I like to wrap these in tissue paper and stick them in my drawer. That way, if I'm just putting it on a shelf in the closet, no big deal, because it's not going to touch anything except for the shelf. But if I am sticking it in a drawer where it may come into contact with my clothing, again, because it is dusty and there is some oil on here, I do like to just wrap it in tissue paper. Okay, that is it. So this is really easy. Again, it's a 2-to-1 mixture of your plaster to your water, and then this one vial scented both cavities very, very well, very strongly. And just a reminder that while the reaction is happening and these are hardening, your mold will get a little warm, as will the cup or bowl or what have you with your leftover. So just make sure it's not hot, but you might want to watch out if you have children who you don't want to touch anything that gets kind of hot or warm. So just be careful, but that does mean that your reaction is working. And that's how you get a nice solid plaster piece just like this. If you wanted to put this out and you wanted it to be more decorative, go ahead and paint it. Do whatever you would like to it. It is nice and hard and solid, and you could do that if you would like. But otherwise, that is it. So go ahead and enjoy your fresh spaces with your oil sachets. All right, everyone, that's it for me for this month. I will see you all next time. Bye.